Hi, I'm Tim from TM Academy, and normally this channel is used to teach you about Pokemon, deck lists, upcoming sets, reviews for sets that have already came out, all things Pokemon, but today is a little bit of a different video. I recently had a pretty, frankly, insane experience over on a third-party selling website like eBay. This one is known as Mercari, as you can tell from the thumbnail and title. Mercari is just exactly like eBay. You use it to buy things. It doesn't have to be Pokemon cards. You can buy whatever you want. It's not like AliExpress or Temu rather, or things like Shein. It's just a third-party selling website, just like eBay or Craigslist. But as you will see in this video, the website can be easily taken advantage of to get free things. You can be taken advantage of yourself when selling something on there and lose a ton of money, like I did. And I will go into that into a bit. I had a very lengthy and multi-day conversation with customer support regarding something that happened, something I was selling, and I'm going to be getting into that in this video. This isn't the normal type of content we will be doing. It will be the classic stuff you've been seeing from our channel. You probably won't get more videos like this in the future. This is a one-off thing. But the thing was so baffling to me that I just had to share it on the YouTube channel because I couldn't get anywhere with customer support and I've been pretty much left in the dark and I couldn't think of anything else to do. So maybe this video does numbers and I can get my money back. So let's get right into why you should never buy from Mercari. Okay, so from the recent Crown Zenith set, there was a gold Arceus V-Star that you could pull from the set. The card is now worth around $66 as I last checked. It might be worth less, it might be worth more. I listed the card for $60 on Mercari. You can see my listing here. This was my listing, and it was purchased by a person. I will not name them. I will not tell you their address or anything because there is a possibility that they didn't try to scam me and that it was actually an honest mistake. So I don't want any doxing or anything like that to happen. But I sold this gold Arceus V-Star to a customer, a person, a guy on the internet, a lad, anyone, and it kind of went poorly after a few days, and you'll see why. If you've ever bought or sold anything on eBay, you'll know exactly how this works. There is a tracking number given for something that you buy or sell, and the money spent on it gets held in an account that will then be released to you once that thing has been confirmed delivered. And that's the exact system that Mercari also uses, just like eBay. Now, there is a flaw in their system because they allow you to ship something in a first-class envelope. Now, I am a mailman, so I am extremely familiar with the tracking system, with the USPS, with first-class envelopes, with packages, with tracking, all across the board. I'm very familiar with it. But there is an extreme flaw in the Mercari system that allows anyone to take advantage of you if you are using this specific shipping method. And as you can see here on my listing, the delivery fee is $1.08, or the price of 2 stamps. 2 stamps is there's just an envelope that you would ship that's a little bit heavy on the heavy side, but it's an envelope. That's 2 stamps. Now, that thing does not come with any sort of tracking. Tracking costs more money than $1.08. So me as a mailman know that this will never have any tracking, but Mercari on their end does not realize that. And that became a problem when selling this item. So somebody bought my gold Arceus V-Star for $60 US, and then several days later, they had still not received it, and Mercari had hit me with the notification that I need to still ship the item. Now, me being very confused because I am a mailman and I work at the post office, I took the thing there when I just went into work and I shipped it. I marked it as shipped on Mercari, but for some reason on their end, they wanted to say that I hadn't. So I messaged the buyer. I told them, I work at the post office and I dropped it off on the 21st. Have you received it yet? And if so, can you mark it as received? I could really use the money right now, because I'm broke. They replied that day on the 25th of April, I haven't received it yet. Maybe it will come today on the 26th. And then a day later, the item gets canceled and they tell me, so it looks like you haven't shipped it, so I'll be canceling. Thank you. This little thing that happened between me and this person made me kind of think that they possibly screwed me over, that they had received the gold Arceus V-Star in the mail and then decided to cancel it because they realized a loophole that they could take advantage of. I could not receive my money until they marked it as received. Even though they had already received it, they could mark it that they never received it, and they would have the card and they would have their money. And that's exactly what they did, I think. I'm not 100% sure, and that is why I'll be blurring this person's name and not putting it out for the world to see. So, me being understandably distraught about this because there's no way for me to get my card back. It has been too many days for me to use the USPS system of a, what do you call it? Like a letter hold where they intercept the letter on the way there and they never deliver it to the person. It had been too many days. It had already been delivered. So there was nothing for me to do in that regard. So I submitted a support ticket with Mercari. Now, here is what I said. Detail. I shipped the card via first class mail, which I printed the label through Mercari. I personally work at the post office, so this was no issue. The problem is, Mercari was saying I didn't ship the package yet because it didn't have a tracking number, but I sent the card first class mail, which doesn't have a tracking number. Then reached out to the buyer to tell them to mark the item as delivered as soon as they received it so I could get the money, and in response, they canceled, in turn getting a free card. Worth noting, when working with support on Mercari, you have a character limit. Now, if you can tell by the screenshot I'll show here, which is their response, they don't have a character limit, but you do, which is why my grammar and my spacing is a little weird on these messages because I have to fit it within the character limit. So moving on, they respond to this by saying, I understand your claims that you already shipped the item, but the tracking information isn't updating. Clearly, this is not what we would want you to experience, and let me provide this information regarding your inquiry. I verified that your tracking number was valid, but on our end, the tracking information isn't updating. I highly recommend reaching out to your courier to confirm why the tracking hasn't been updated and for assistance in locating the package. If it has been delivered or is stuck at one location, they should be able to determine this as well as provide you with an update. Then they give me the tracking number, and then they, of course, give me the USPS phone number and the website I can go to check the tracking. If I took this tracking number, which I did, and inputted it into the USPS tracking website, they would tell you that the tracking number isn't real. Understandably, I am upset at this response, so I respond to them once again. Okay, I'm an employee at the USPS, and I can confirm that the tracking number isn't valid. USPS tracking numbers start with a letter or a 9. I've worked with the USPS for going on 8 years now, and the label that was printed through Mercari was not a tracking label. It was a first-class envelope label, which is not tracked. As a result, the tracking will never update because it doesn't get tracked. I can send proof. I can get a witness statement from the clerk seeing me put the card in the envelope and shipping it too. There's no issue on the Postal Service's end. I've contacted them, and they say tracking isn't valid. I didn't even need to do that because I work there, and I know that it wasn't valid. I have reason to believe the buyer took advantage of my previous messages to get a free card. I then send them a screenshot of my messages with the buyer, just assuming, I assume they can access that, but who knows? Maybe they can't. So I sent them a screenshot. Hi, Timothy. Thank you for your request. It looks like your issue needs a little extra care. I'm going to put you in touch with our shipping team who can address your concerns more thoroughly. There may be a short wait for this team to respond, but rest assured they will be here to assist you as soon as possible. I say I can provide proof of employment if I need to. The following day, they respond, hey, I understand you're an employee at the USPS and you can confirm that the tracking number isn't valid. Kindly note that although Mercari provides the label, it is automatically generated by the carrier and is thus always valid. Upon checking the tracking information, it shows the label has not been scanned. Please contact the carrier as soon as possible. They then give me the number to the USPS and the tracking website once again. I've already gone through this. It didn't work that time. It's not going to work this time, but yet here we are. I respond. The delivery number will never show a scan. The label printed was first class envelope. That's a label that isn't tracked. If you input the number into the USPS tracking, you will see that it shows that the USPS has nothing. A real tracking number generated by the USPS will show that the label was created on the USPS website. If you go to the site now, you'll see that it doesn't say that because the label isn't tracked. First-class envelopes do not have tracking. I can call, I can go to the site, I can do anything, and the USPS will never be able to tell me anything about the package because it wasn't a package tracking label, it was a first-class envelope label. They respond. As there are no tracking updates from the carrier, I definitely understand that this situation could be worrisome. Please note that the first-class mail prepaid label automatically generated 1 is valid and 2 with limited tracking through Mercari included directly on your order status page. To clarify, the tracking update will not show on the USPS website, but it will on your order status page. Explain to me how that makes any sense. How somehow the USPS is going to be delivering my package that is tracked, and it's not going to show on their website, but it definitely will on Mercari because we're a Japanese company that somehow uses a American delivery service that only updates the tracking on our website, not their own. After a review of your inquiry, our team is unable to verify the location of the package with the information we do have available. Please note, we're not responsible for unforeseen delays. If you have not done so already, you can also check at the initial drop-off location, as in some cases the package may have been missed. Without an initial acceptance scan from the USPS, we are unable to consider reimbursement through Mercari shipping protection, and without delivery to the buyer, we are unable to issue a rating to complete the transaction for you. At the moment, I encourage you to keep working with the carrier as they should be able to give you updates. Now, this idea that they cannot reimburse me through their insurance kind of doesn't make a ton of sense because there'll never be an initial tracking scan. It won't happen. I'll never be able to be reimbursed. I'll never get my money. There's nothing that can happen there. So I respond, my guy, I can't be any clearer that I'm the carrier. As you can see, I'm getting a little bit frustrated here. There's nothing to scan on the label. Hold up. Let me reprint this bad boy so I can show you that there's nothing to scan on the damn thing. The label is valid. The tracking number is not. Also, I'd bet my last penny that the Mercari tracking pages uses the USPS API and just updates itself based on the USPS tracking page. So this Mercari tracking is different than the USPS tracking, is just false. I then attach a photo of the label and I say, attached is a photo of the label printed via Mercari. As you can see, a barcode does not exist here. There is no way for any carrier, the carrier being me by the way, to scan this delivered, picked up, returned, or any other scan. The QR you see in the corner is purely for the automated letter system to sort it to its appropriate city. Delivery tracking is not possible with this label. Here is the label now. I have blurred or smeared or censored all of the relevant names and addresses to keep people from being doxxed. There's nothing on it. There's nothing. You cannot get any sort of delivery scan, any sort of tracking with this thing. It just goes onto an envelope and you send it. There's nothing. It doesn't matter. They respond. My name is Antonio and I am a supervisor here in Mercari. I reviewed the ticket and I appreciate your time reaching out to us. I understand that the item you've shipped has been canceled while in transit. I know this can be a bit worrying. Thank you for providing this information, Timothy, but without any confirmation that the item has been delivered to the buyer, we are unable to release your payments. We'll be happy to help as long as there's any form of confirmation. May it be a chat from the buyer that received the item. Please note that we are bound to abide rules and policies set by Mercari, and as much as I would love to release your money, I cannot. Frustration is real. I cannot send a message to the person that bought my item because they canceled the item. There's no way for me to message them. The message thread that was generated when they bought the item from me is no longer able to be accessed. I can click in there, I can read it, but I can't send any messages. There's no way to send a direct message to any user through their interface. It doesn't exist. I can share their profile, I can see the ratings and reviews that they have, but I cannot send them a message. I respond. I can't message the buyer directly to have them confirm that they received the item because they canceled. Also, whatever system y'all have that works on the back end is extremely flawed, and I don't know how this doesn't happen more often. I'd wager it probably does. Just today, my friend Mike had to mark an item as delivered to him for the seller to receive his money. Same issue, tracking number that doesn't exist, first class envelope delivery, same exact thing. But in that case, Mike was a nice guy and marked it delivered. In my case, the buyer canceled the order. So what's to stop me from going into your app, ordering everything that has first class envelope as it's shipping, and then canceling every single one in transit and getting a massive pile of free things? The answer is nothing. Nothing is, which is worrisome at the least and straight up negligent business. Call an IT guy, get your system overhauled, I don't know, but it's extremely easy to take advantage of and get free things. I just want either my card or my money, man. I know I spelled of off, but hey, I was frustrated, okay? I was frustrated. I needed this money. I'm not a rich man, okay? I then send them an example listing. I took a screenshot of a listing that I found on their website and sent it to them. This listing, for example, if I was malicious because I see that the shipping is $1.08, the price of 2 stamps, I can tell it'll be a first class envelope label, meaning no tracking. So I could buy this card, wait for the seller to mark it shipped, then cancel once the card is in my hand, and I'd have a free card and my money back, and the seller would have no money and no card. It would be extremely easy and have no consequences. Hell, all of y'all could do it too. If anybody at the help desk wants to make some money, here you go. Hi, Timothy. I do appreciate your concern, and I truly am sorry, but without delivery confirmation, I am not able to proceed with your request. Moreover, you may reach out to the buyer if they have an active listing and ask for confirmation. Once available, please reach out to us again and we'll be happy to assist. They tell me here that I need the buyer to have an active listing of their own to message them, which they do. Editing Tim here, I meant to say don't at this moment. Don't. Not do, they don't. So in this correspondence here, he's basically telling me you're going to have to wait for him to post something for sale, message him, and get him to tell you that he has the item. I respond. They don't have an active listing. There's no way for me to message them to get confirmation. So what you're saying is your system failed and was able to be taken advantage of by a bad faith party, and there is legitimately nothing I can do. Mercari gave me a label that could be taken advantage of. Mercari has a system that allows this to happen. Mercari won't let me get insurance because there's no scan on a label that can't be scanned, and Mercari won't allow me to message my buyer without them having a listing. Mercari also won't allow me to rate the buyer poorly to warn others, as I can't do so without a completed order. So Mercari messed up in every single way. I get screwed, and there's not a single path for me to take to reconcile it due to Mercari's systems. Is this accurate? As you can tell, I'm extremely frustrated at this point. And yes, what I said is true. I can't even go to their page to rate them poorly as someone who canceled the item while in transit and got a free card. It's not possible for me to do that. There has to have been a completed order, and Mercari will have indicated for me to rate them. As of now, there's nothing for me to do. Their 5-star rating will remain a 5-star rating, and I can't make it go any lower. Thanks for writing back to us. My name is Yel, and I'll be more than happy to assist you on behalf of Antonio while he's currently out of the office. I'd like to have you go to your local post office to speak with the postmaster at the post office for a copy of the internal log of each tracking scan. This is called an intranet request. That should provide more detailed information than their website. So even if online tracking doesn't update, the intranet should show the scans the website does not. If you get back to us with a picture of the intranet request, we would be happy to assist you further. As I have said previously in this video, in this correspondence, this entire time, there is no scans. There will never be any scans. No scans exist. No scans will exist. Scans, it's Schrodinger's scan. It's Schrodinger's scan. It's not real. It's not real. There's no way for me to go to the post office and get an intranet request for scans that don't exist. They're not going to have an internal copy of tracking scans because there's no scans. There's no tracking. Internally, externally, metaphorically, allegorically, it doesn't matter. For the final time, I work at that local post office, and for the final time, there's no scans. I'm not saying there's no scans because it doesn't show on the website. I'm not saying there's no scans because it doesn't show it on the USPS. I'm saying there's no scans because there's literally no scans. It's not a scannable label. I know I said scalable. Don't worry about it. Scroll up to the photo. No barcode that's scannable. I've checked that internal log personally, and guess what? No scans, because it wasn't a label that had anything on it that could even be scanned. It's the same as if you put a stamp on a letter and sent it to your grandma for the holidays. That's all that label was. I did check the intranet gobbledygook that they come up with. There is an internal log of scans. It doesn't exist because there's no scans. There's no scans. I can't be any clearer here, man. I appreciate the information about your package. As Antonio mentioned, we will not be able to release your funds since there's no confirmation. I understand that this denial might be frustrating. As much as I would like to approve your request, I can't do so. Please know I've exhausted all of my resources I can before a resolution was given, so I hope for your kind understanding. I apologize on our behalf as this situation has inconvenienced you, for we don't want this kind of experience for our users. Your satisfaction is at the top of our priorities, and we take delight in ensuring that your online shopping experience is a convenient one, though clearly we haven't met your expectations. Understand that the answer provided does not favor your in now. I'm sorry if that is the case, though for now, that is what we have placed for this scenario. Since we have provided you with the answer to your case and the relevant policy and procedure information regarding this process, I'm going to close this inquiry. If you need assistance with a different issue, please feel free to get back in touch with us through the Help Center. So this was my experience with Mercari. They allow for a shipping system to be taken advantage of and fully exploited by anyone who wants to. You could buy single cards from anyone on Mercari and cancel them while in transit and face no consequences. They say in some of these correspondences with me that they're going to fix this issue and send it up to their team. I so sorely doubt that. I wouldn't recommend anyone buy or sell single cards through this website. I know my friend Mike has had no issues with Mercari in the past, and I know a lot of people love this website and this app. But if you scour anywhere on the internet for any sort of questions regarding anything like this, you'll see on Quora, Yahoo forums, it doesn't matter where people are asking the question. There always seems to be this weird thing where people talk about first-class envelope tracking and tracking numbers that doesn't exist and all kinds of things in that vein that they never get any help from the Help Center about. So I hope sincerely that Mercari switches their systems so you cannot do this any longer. I hope they learn from this. I doubt that they will, because it seems to be a problem that has been plaguing a lot of people. I know I will no longer be selling my singles on Mercari, and I will be sticking to eBay. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I know this is a bit of a different, unique video. We don't usually do stuff like this, but it was just such a bad experience that I had to share it. I had a really bad week because of this. $60 is a lot of money. I did go down to Texas and come in top 8 for a 1K and split that prize, so I still got some money, and I sold a lot of prize packs and other cards, so, I'm not pressed for it or anything, but $60 is a lot of money. That buys almost all of Tears of the Kingdom, which is the game I really want to play coming out soon. Anyway, thank you for watching or listening. Like, comment down below, do all the stuff. Subscribe for normally more positive and better content than this. So stay tuned for more deck lists. GLC deck lists probably coming soon as well. I'm getting excited for that, and I really want to do that. Anyway, I'm really bad at concise closings. I like to do the long-winded ones, so that's what I do. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.